Hola, y'all. Let's look at el calendario, or the calendar in Spanish, and learn how to pronounce the days of the week, the months of the year, the seasons, and some extra little questions and words that go with talking about the calendar. Okay, before we get started, let's look at a few notes or some apuntes. So, the Spanish calendar starts on a Monday, not on a Sunday like it does in the typical American calendar. To say on Monday or on Tuesday, on a certain day of the week, you will use the word el, which is the, right? But when you use it with the day of the week, then it just means like on. So, like, tengo clase el lunes. I have class on Monday. To make it plural, and you're going to be talking about more than one Monday or more than one Tuesday. If it's something you do repetitively, like you have practice on Mondays and Wednesdays, you could say something like tengo práctica los lunes y los miércoles. I have practice on Mondays and Wednesdays. Just to make a day of the week plural. The beginning, the first Monday through Friday, they all have S's already, but Saturday and Sunday do not. Sábado and Domingo will need you to add an S to make those plural. But the first 5 days of the week already have an S, and you will leave them as is and just use los instead of el if you want it to be plural. For the first day of a month, you will not say el uno de octubre. The 1 of October is kind of how we do it. We say the number in Spanish. We would say el primero de octubre, the 1st of October, not el uno de anything, right? Not el uno de enero, the 1st of January. We would say el primero de enero, which would be January 1st. And then, last but not least, in Spanish, the date comes before the day. And if you look at the example on the screen, it says hoy es lunes, today is Monday, el 14 de junio, the 14th of June, or we translate it to the 14th of June. But most of the time in English, we would say June 14th. So today is Monday, June 14th. So you will need to remember that the date goes in front of the month in Spanish. Okay, so those are some little notes that you can write down, take care of on how it's just a little bit different than it is in English in America, and then we will learn how to say the words now. All right, so let's start with los días de la semana, the days of the week. All right, first we have lunes, which is Monday. And if you can, practice saying them out loud. It always helps to actually say the words more than to just say them in your head if you want to actually be able to pronounce them. So, lunes, Monday. Martes, Tuesday. Miércoles, Wednesday. Jueves, Thursday. Viernes, Friday. Then we have sábado, which is Saturday. Do not be confused that it looks like the Sabbath, and a lot of people think it should be Sunday because it looks like the Sabbath, but it is Saturday, the 7th day of the week. And then domingo, Sunday. All right, so now let's go into the months of the year, or los meses del año. So again, try to say them out loud if you can. All right, first we have enero, which is January. January is the only month of the year that is not a cognate. A cognate is a word that looks so much like English that you will recognize it. Enero is not a cognate, but now you will see the other 11 months are a cognate. Febrero, February. Marzo, March. Abril, April. Mayo, May. Junio, June. Julio, July. Agosto, August. Septiembre, Septiembre is September. Octubre, octubre, October. Noviembre, noviembre, November. And diciembre, diciembre, December. And one thing you may have noticed that none of the days of the week or the months of the year in Spanish are capitalized. That's a little odd for us. We're used to capitalizing them in American English, but in Spanish, you do not capitalize the days of the week or the months of the year. Okay, so let's go to estaciones, las estaciones, or the seasons. All right, we have la primavera. La primavera is a spring. El verano. El verano is the summer. El otoño. El otoño is the fall. And finally, we have el invierno. El invierno is the winter. All right. And so when you're talking about the calendar, oftentimes there's just some words that, besides the days of the week and the months of the year, that you will use a lot, such as today and yesterday, tomorrow. So here are a few of those words, las palabras del calendario. So these are just some extra words that are useful when you are talking about the calendar. We have ayer, yesterday. Hoy. Hoy is today. Remember, we do not pronounce that H. Hoy. Mañana. Mañana is tomorrow. La fecha is the date. So the number that you're looking for, the date. And then, as we mentioned earlier, el primero is the first. And you need that for the first of every single month. El primero. And then there are a couple of questions that you're asked a lot about the calendar, such as what day is it, etc. So here are a couple of questions that will be very useful to know when you're talking about the calendar. ¿Qué día es hoy? ¿Qué día es hoy? What day is today? Okay. ¿Qué día fue ayer? What day was yesterday? ¿Qué día fue ayer? So that's the past tense. ¿Qué día es mañana? ¿Qué día es mañana? What day is tomorrow? And then, ¿cuál es la fecha de hoy? ¿Cuál es la fecha de hoy? What is the date of today? So what is today's date? So that's helpful when you're writing your dates on your assignments, yes. And that is it. No, ¿cuándo es tu cumpleaños? Of course, that's important. When is your birthday? Everybody wants to know that. ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? So take a second and practice. How would you say when your birthday is? Mi cumpleaños es el 14 de junio. My birthday is June 14th. All right. So if you would like to get some practice with this, go to video 2, and we will have some practice exercises for you to practice these and to learn them better.